guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Autumn, also known as akiisims, and I'm back with another video. So today I wanted to kind of do like a tips on how to make a save file and things that I've been doing. I am by no means the best builder. I am by no means the best sim maker. I'm not that good in CAS, but I've been really enjoying the process of making my own save file, and I kind of wanted to show you guys a little debut of what I have done so far and also give you some tips on how you can also do the same thing. So I just want to preface this by saying that my save file is not up for grabs. I'm not ever going to publish my save file because there's too much CC, and the idea of going through and taking all the CC out and making it base game friendly or making it like non-CC, it just sounds horrendous, and I put so much time into these builds. I don't want to have to worry about having to figure out how to put it up there without CC if you guys don't want CC added. Now, if there is a time where CC, you guys do want one of the builds and you don't mind going and grabbing all the CC for that specific build, I'm happy to figure out how I can give that to you guys. But for now, my save file is just strictly my personal save file. So let's go ahead and get into it. My first set of tips are for building and just making the world feel more lived in, more cozy, more realistic. So first I have this house. And to be honest, this was the very first house I made in this save file, and I'm still to this day super proud. So I get a lot of my inspiration on builds from Pinterest and from other simmers and from real life examples, houses that I've been into, houses I've seen growing up as a child in America, houses that I see on TV. So I use all of that as inspiration to what I want the world to look like. So right now we are in Oasis Springs and we are in the more middle class neighborhood. So I have a ton of lots here that I have finished decorating and populating with Sims, but if you can tell, pretty much all of these neighborhood homes in this area have the same type of architecture. I use the exact same windows from the Get Famous pack here, and then I also made sure that everything had everyone had at least one slanted roof. So there's a slant, here's a slant, here's a slant, this is a slant, because I wanted to have this mid-century modern 70s vibe to the homes. Now, as far as going on the inside of these homes, I do try to add a lot of personality, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. One thing I wanted to mention is the use of the tool mod. So I've been using the tool mod to add some more deco buildings in this area because in my mind and in my save file, Del Sol Valley and Oasis Springs are like barely 15 minutes away from each other. And with that being said, it doesn't make sense that you don't see any skyscrapers in the background because Del Sol Valley has a ton of city. So I feel like I put this stuff here so that you can get the impression that it's a little more city-ish than it looks. So I also used the tool mod to give more things to do around the neighborhood. So I'm not exactly finished. I do want to add more things, like maybe a soccer goal or something somewhere here. But I did add this swing set here and this jungle gym for the kids because all they have is this area here, and to me, a neighborhood that has a lot of kids in it, that's not enough space to play. So I have it so that they can play in two different areas. But yeah, so that is the outside that helps me keep things realistic. Another thing that I do to help keep things cohesive is I add a lot of shrubbery and foliage from the outside into the save or into the building. So these shrubs here, you can see them here also. This aloe plant here, you can see way over there in the area that is not in the lot. Some of the rocks are similar colors, and I've also went as far as adding some shrubs here and making sure that I do terrain paint that makes it seem as though it kind of fits in with this neighborhood. So I made it that way so that if you were to do a zoomed out street view, there's no telling that any of these are lots, because they should meld well with the surrounding worlds. So that is some tips that I would give as far as building on the outside wise. As far as inside goes, I will come into this home here. I make sure to decorate as though I am decorating as the family or as the sim that lives here. So for example, this family, they are originally from El Salvadorado. So there's a lot of different colors in here. There's a lot of yellows and blues and bright colors, like these curtains here. And I also go through and do a little bit of gameplay, and I take photos and selfies, and I make sure to get screenshots of kids and pregnancies and teenagers when they're graduating from high school. And that helps me add more realism to the game, because I feel like if it's a family home but there's no family pictures, it's not a family home. Am I right, or am I right? So yeah, so there's like photos here, and I make sure to spread the photos out in the entire like house, just so that it doesn't seem like, oh, all the photos are just on one wall. So yeah, but like I said, as far as realism goes, because this house is mid-century modern, I didn't want it to be mid-century modern on the inside. These two people are from El Salvadorado, so of course I want their neighborhood, I want their home to feel like it belongs to them. So I made sure to decorate it as such. Now when it comes to kids, that's pretty easy to do, because most kids have very fleshed out personalities as far as like their colors and stuff. But for this like example, this wall here, very inspired by El Salvadorada. I kind of feel like there are tigers in El Salvadorada, so of course the kid's gonna want tigers on his wall. So another thing that I do is I make sure to keep it not super crazy cluttered, so that it is usable, but still cluttered enough so that it's believable that this place is lived in. So yeah, I also like to add like details like these light switches and stuff like that. And I think you may have saw earlier, but I like to also paint the ceilings. Like this is carpet, but we don't have like stucco, like that popcorn ceiling, so I use the carpet to mimic like a popcorn ceiling texture, because when I grew up I had popcorn ceilings in all of my older homes that I lived in. So yeah, another thing that I do to initiate realism is I have been adding in a water heater and an electric fuse box to pretty much every build, regardless of if it's residential rental or a residential. It is getting both of these items, because to me that is realistic. Every house has a water heater, every house has an electricity box. Like this is just realistic. I don't usually add any of the traits for this stuff to malfunction, but it is there in the event that I wanted to change it. So going back to building, I wanted to talk a little more about community lots. So I have a few community lots that I have finished, and honestly, I'm not the best at making community lots. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, a lot of my community lots are inspired by other builders or either copies of other builders, but with my own personal twist to them. One thing that I will give people credit for is their amazing talent. So for example, this building here, this is a club that was heavily inspired by Raya 28, as well as this gym, that restaurant. So these may look the exact same on the outside. I do go through and change a few things because I don't have the same exact CC, but for the most part, my save file is pretty much built. Everything is made by me, just with influence of other people's ideas. And so with that, because I like building places that have more than one purpose, I like to go through and make buildings that have multi-functions. So this is a club. This is Club Delusion, and it looks very similar to Rhea 28's club, because I basically watched her entire video as I was doing this. So some things are similar. However, this, I think hers is also, you can have karaoke in it, but I set it up so that if you wanted to change the lot type to a karaoke bar, you could change this to a karaoke bar. There's karaoke here, there's hookah here, there's an outdoor patio. I gave it multiple things to do in here. You can also have this just be a regular club, like I said before. So there's multiple purposes to this one lot, so that, you know, because we don't really get a lot of lots when it comes to The Sims. We don't have a lot of space, so I like to optimize my space. Speaking of optimizing space, if you have seen this build from my Let's Play, this build is a multi-purpose lot. So I'm not going to go into it, but this is an office building here. Here you have a salon, over here a grocery store here. You can see all the groceries in there. And then on the other side, sorry about the spinning, you have a cafe. So at any given point, this lot can be 4 different types of buildings. So the only thing I don't truly do this for is restaurants, but I've been trying to dabble at making more multi-purpose lots. This isn't a multi-purpose lot, it's just a gym. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's best to make multi-purpose lots and just change what type of lot venue you have, so that you can do what you got to do and you don't have to keep placing new lots and putting down new lots or switching lots out. I don't like the struggle and hassle of having to do that. Okay, so we are back with this Santos family. I wanted to do the next segment of this video, which is talking about Sims and like how I create Sims, how I give them lore, how I like set things up like that. Because one thing about my save file, I'm going to have pre-made townies and townies that I made personally, but I want everybody to be intermingled. I want people to have histories and backgrounds and drama, and I think that that's just what makes the game interesting. So as far as drama and history go, when you have a sim, I usually use the UI cheats and MCC Command Center to go ahead and put them in careers and put them in a certain level of a career. I also go to the Simology panel and I flesh out their milestones, because to me those are like memories. And I also go through and fix all of their likes and dislikes, lifestyles and degrees and neighborhood action plans, anything that has to deal with this sim as a person, because I want it to feel as though these sims have personalities, they have life to them, because unfortunately you have to use your imagination a lot for this game. But this family is from Salvadorado, and so I do have mods in my game to help me tell stories that I need to tell. I do have the Frank's language mod, and you can see here that Tomas is a Salvadoranian native, so his first language is like Spanish basically. So this entire family speaks Spanish in this household. However, he is multilingual and he can speak Simlish, which is English, and it can be seen here in his skill panel that he is a level 6. So he can communicate in English if he needs to, but when they're at home, him and his family communicate in Spanish. I think that's really cool. It's very fleshed out. Another thing that I do to give them a little bit more lore is I will make groups. So, for example, right now, Tomas is in the engineering group. He is in the group with Richard, and I believe that's about it. So far, I don't have that many engineers in my save file, but every time I add a new engineer career or a new person to the engineer career, I will add them into this group so that they can know each other. And I kind of tailor this based on region, because this is technically not correct, because right now Richard lives in San Myshuno to me, San Myshuno is over 2 hours away from Oasis Springs. So the idea of them ever truly meeting each other is just not correct. I will go back and change that a little later. So I'll give you an example of other clubs that I have made. So for example, I have the actors. So this group here, this is just actors that live in Del Sol Valley, and they are only Del Sol Valley actors. And that way it's so that they can know each other. Another group that I have are the Bay kids. So these are the Brindleton Bay children that live in that area. It doesn't make sense to me if you have children that live in a town and they don't know each other, because in theory they go to school together, they should know each other. So I have all of these guys in this group so that they know each other. I also have I have one for Oasis Springs. So I have Oasis kids here. I don't have everybody added in, I don't think, because there are some children that I have to add in, but I think I'm not done building up their households. I also have I'll have business here. I have the business career here. This business career is just for this region. So that is Del Sol Valley, that's Oasis Springs, Chestnut Ridge, Strangerville. Anybody in those 4 worlds that joins a business career will be added to this group, because in my eyes, they all work together basically, because I see that I think that those areas are all within 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of each other. And that's a reasonable commute for work. So yeah, that's how I set up relationships and stuff and lore. Another way I set up relationships and lore and stuff is through mods. So the relationship pregnancy overhaul mod, and a lot of mods that deal with health and fitness, and I just have a ton of mods that help me tell the story I want to tell. So this is Tomas Santos, and he is hardworking. He is an adult, and he is married to Juan Carla. Tomas does not want children right now. However, Juan Carla would be happy to have another child. I set this tension up between them because they have 3 boys. They have Andreas, Alejandro, and Angel. So he's done having kids. He's a workaholic. All he does is work. He feels like he can't afford to give them another child, and she's like, I want a girl so bad. And I think that the biggest pain point in their life is her wanting a girl. So I made sure to represent that in their relationship bar. So their relationship bar, they love each other dearly, but their friendship isn't as high. And even for the sake of some situations, I will have them argue so that they can have a sentiment, or I'll cheat sentiments with people. So for example, Andreas, he is their teen son. He really likes his neighbor Laura. And I had it set up to where he had a sentiment of having a crush on her, but I guess sentiments don't last as long as I wish they would. So he has a crush on her, but she's oblivious. But Emily also has a crush on Laura, and he understands and knows that that's happening, so he doesn't like Emily. So the one way that helps me when it comes to having drama is that I use TV shows, people from my personal life, and I know this might be a hot take, but I also use ChatGPT. So what I usually do is I'll type into ChatGPT that I'm making families and I need X amount of families for this neighborhood or for this home, for this world, and could you give me families that are middle income with kids and teens and jobs and drama. And I'll have the AI set up what type of drama would be in a household, and then I go through and I pick and choose what drama I want for this household to have. So like I said, the drama of this household is that their father doesn't want any more kids, the mother does want kids. There's also more drama with Andreas really liking Laura and not liking Emily because Emily likes Laura too. So there kind of gives you some like something to play with when you come into this idea of like, what is this family about? There's also drama among the children. So I don't have them have a relationship yet, but Alejandro is a new child and he is learning his way throughout the world, and he is getting involved with kids that may not be as nice to him because he does not speak English very well. So I have like a little bit of drama in that sense. So I wanted to go through and just show you guys some of my other homes or households in this particular part of my save file. So yeah, okay, so this part of my save file is basically like me doing a run through of some of the homes and like households that I have. I'm not going to go into each of the homes because that would take way too long and we'd be here all day. But I wanted to give you guys like a little sneak peek of some of the drama, some of the homes, some of the pre-made Sims that I have either split up or have other drama about. So yeah, first I want to start with the roomies. So the roomies family here is a pre-made family. They usually live over here in this house, but I changed their entire like dynamic. So this says Zoe knew she was to go to college, but she needed roommates. Luckily, some guys she knew from high school have moved into a little trailer and needed a third roommate. Now they can pursue their careers and passions and save some money at the same time. Mitchell and Gavin have been best friends for years. Both of them have a slight crush on Zoe, but they don't know how to approach it. So I split up the original roomie's household, and I have Zoe just living with Mitchell and Gavin. And also another way I like to like juice up my townies, make them a little more interesting. Zoe Patel is actually the little sister to Jasmine Beta. So that way she has a connection to somebody else in here. I feel like when I get to Sulani, I will make Mitchell's parents too, because I feel like it would be so interesting if his parents were, one was from Sulani and the other was from Mount Komorebi, and so he's mixed. And if I were to go into his apartment, like this apartment here, you would see that his room is decorated with both styles in mind, because in my head he is mixed with both of those nationalities. So yeah, I also have like the Calientes here that I switched up and that I like edited and made over, and I did not give them their mother because basically what I'm doing is I'm adding lore from Sims 2 to Sims 3 and then mixing that with the Sims 4, but twisting it so that it fits my gameplay style. And honestly, I grew up with them just being sisters and not having a mother, so we got rid of her. Who is Katrina? Who is that? So anyway, so these sisters seemingly came out of nowhere. No one knows their real plan, but it seems as though their intentions are physically and fiscally charged. It is often said that Dina has a mind of her own, but she is quick to disagree. She likes chocolate and dreams dreams of making it big. Nina, deeply connected to her Mediterranean roots, likes to exercise and bread bread pudding. So some of this description I got from Sims 2, and I kind of finagled it to make it sound good. But I have them living in this trailer home with their dog Flamenco, which is named after their dad. If you guys know, then you know. But then I also have moved out Don Lothario. So who is Don Lothario? We all know for sure that this recent moved Casanova is already making a name for himself. And so I've split him up, but if we're gonna keep with true Sims 2 lore, he is in a relationship, or like in a physical intimacy relationship with these two women, as well as some other townies in the worlds. So yeah, those are some pre-mades, and that's what I do with the pre-mades. I kind of give them some like fleshed outness and like give them a little more oomph to them. So yeah, I also wanted to show you some of the pre-made townies that are a little bit, they're not Sims 2, but there's Sims 4, and they're like, why are you here? I've done different stuff with them also. So this is the Fletcher household, and you guys might know Cameron Fletcher here. He is in Discovery University's game pack. He basically is in college in that, but here I have him as a high school student because it just works with what I'm planning in my save for the future. So I also went through and made his parents. So there's Carver, Sonia, Cameron, his little brother Cash, and little sister Karma. And they have a cat, Star. And so I have them living in this trailer home, but it is a much bigger trailer home than any of these other trailer homes because his parents make that bread, okay? They making that money. I also have personal made Sims that I try my best to make. So for this family, the Carmichael family are known for their business venues, but they have a rather dark secret. Archer has been involved with his secretary for years now and has moved her into one of his properties. Linda is suspicious of her husband, but doesn't have any hard evidence. Emily and Nolan are none the wiser of their parents. Emily is fighting to understand her sexuality as she's developed a crush on someone who she previously didn't like. And Nolan has begun to assert his dominance among kids. So you have Archer here, and he's a business tycoon, and they own this apartment building here. And then you've got Linda, who's a business girly also, and she is a socialite. Their oldest daughter, Emily, and she is a cheerleader, and she's kind of like a popular girl, and she has a crush on one of the neighbors over here, Laura in the black. And she's just kind of trying to figure that out because she's never felt like that before. And then there is little Nolan, who's a little bit of a hothead, and he tends to bully some of the other kids in the lesser neighborhoods because of his money and his status. So it's just a little bit of drama that I like to add into my game. I do have some lots here that resemble other Simmers lots, like this Imago Flos Spa is a spa / hotel that I got heavily inspired by Ashwar Place to make, so I can turn this into a gym, a spa, or a hotel if we ever get a hotel pack. And then I also have the Desert Bloom National Park that I was inspired to recreate by Plum Bob Kingdom. It is a park, but it can also be turned into a restaurant because I added a tiny little food truck here, and I've tested it out, and it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, I have all this drama, I have all these Sims, I have all these homes, I have empty homes, I've got pre-made Sims here, I've got made Sims that I have made. So yeah, this is how I have set up my gameplay to be. So I want to go into this household so I can show you a little tiny bit of drama in this house, and then I think we're gonna wrap this video up. Okay, so we are with the Hammond household, and this is Harry Hammond. He and Jay Huntington are like best friends, and so Jay's way over here probably chilling in his room. Yep. And they are best friends. They've been best friends since they were little, and they live in this kind of like frat type house together, and they needed extra roommates because they are in college. I don't have them with the career yet because I'm waiting to add everybody into college at the same time, because one thing I hate is when you have Sims that are in college and then they're not all in college together, and it's like some people are off, some people are on. It's just weird. I don't like it. So I'm waiting until I've finished my save completely to add them into college. But basically Henry, I said Harry earlier, didn't I? Henry here is a juice head. He's very much a bro, and I haven't finished fleshing him out very much, but I wanted to show you guys this drama with him. So he is non-committal and he's indifferent to being in a romantic relationship. If you have seen my romance mods video, I highly recommend you check that out. I do go over this mod and I really like it. But he has been sleeping with the neighbor, and the neighbor lives in this greenhouse right over here, and he's been sleeping with Susan. So when you open up Susan's Simology panel, relationship panel, you can see that they're lovebirds. They have an amazing compatibility. They're neighbors. That he finds her super attractive, and they may have a child together because Susan, who is married to Mark Perry, is pregnant. And she has told Henry that she doesn't know who the father is. Like the drama is wild. But yeah, the reason I moved Jay out of the original roomies is because I feel like he knows them, but I feel like he just wouldn't be on their same level of like talking. To me, he gives rich boy vibes. So why not pair him up with somebody else who gives rich boy vibes? So I do have 2 other roommates in here that they have added, and sorry, he's clipping into the pillow. But basically these 2 roommates, Ace and Eli, they're actually not really cool with Jay. They think Henry is okay, but for the most part, they don't truly get along with Jay. So this drama in this house is just that, like, they live in this messy house and it's very clear who lives where. So this is let me show you. So this is the home, what it looks like. It's pretty messy. I didn't want to make it super cluttered because routing and stuff like that, but yeah, it's pretty messy in here. They've got their party set up because one of the lot traits is that they are party animals here, so they throw a lot of parties. And down here they have like a room with just for hookah, just for smoking bongs, like just for having fun. And then you've got Henry's room here, which is like total juice man room. Like look look at Henry. And but yeah, so all these, it's just clutter and mess. And then you've got Jay's room, which is a little more put together because, you know, he does make a little bit, he comes from wealth, so, but he is still a boy, so, you know, it's not really fleshed out and beautiful, but this is his room. But Ace and Eli live on the 2nd floor away from all the partying. And Eli is a big nerd, so he's got all his Star Wars and Baby Yoda, and he's a big nerd. He loves like getting on his computer, playing games and stuff. And then you've got Ace, who is into music and he's also into cooking, and he's got like some nerdy stuff going on, and they live upstairs away from all the partying. So it's very different up here. There isn't any like party stuff. It's very chill. They're like, please don't ever come upstairs, we don't want you up here. So yeah, this is pretty much their house, and this is the lore that I have between this household and the other household. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys were able to get some tips and some ideas and some tricks, and I really enjoyed like making this neighborhood, these Sims. They are my babies. I have been working so hard, and I'm not finished, but I'm definitely taking it slow so that I can like truly get the ball rolling, because so far I've only completed I've completed Oasis Springs completely, but I've only partially completed Mount Komorebi, Del Sol Valley, and I'm working on Brindleton Bay now. So I wanted to keep it pretty simple and start off small. By the way, I am using Seriously's blank save, and honestly a godsend, because I just like not having anything there so that I can work from a completely free sandbox. So I'm gonna wrap this video up, you guys, because I have been rambling for way too long. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see my other saves or my other worlds that I'm working on, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd be so happy to show you guys, especially the genius stuff I'm doing in Brindleton Bay. Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. Like, I'm not a builder, but I have been loving this building area. I've been in my bag, okay? So yeah, I will let you guys go, and I will see you guys in another video. So bye.